Video that's in demand at the minute, productivity and how I structure my day running a online coaching business. So we're going to run through the systems I use, the processes, what the day looks like from the time I wake up, the time I shut off, work blocks. So we're going to be boxed off. But before that begins, we've got Deliveroo open and we're going to have to get a coffee to begin the day. So the coffee order at the minute is a cafe latte. We can have the milk. We're going to get a signature espresso dark roast. That's the coffee type that we're opting for. And skimmed milk, slightly lower on calories. Syrup, sugar free, we're going to go for caramel. That's in the basket. That's ordered. And that will be at the door in 12 minutes. The efficiency of Dubai. Then we're going to get into the good stuff, the work. But the day doesn't start till the coffee is here. So, big episode for you all. Of course, running a business, you need to be efficient with your time. You need to be structured. You can't be sporadic. Routine needs to be nailed. And you need to make sure that you're effective. So we're going to run through what that looks like, how I set everything up. And we don't want that arch of the posterior, okay? Just make sure that you're not forcing reps where the back is arching.
And then you're right. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Cheers.
So let's get into the good stuff and give you all the tips. Routine is key. To be productive, you've got to have a solid routine. And for me, what that routine looks like is Monday to Saturday. I wake exactly the same time. So the alarm goes off at 6 o'clock. What that looks like is a shower, get ready, hydrate, have 5 to 10 minutes to settle, get my thoughts together, usually write a couple of notes down, and then I'm into check-ins at 6:30. So what that looks like then from 6:30 onwards is a deep block for 3 hours right up until 9:30. And I work in deep blocks. As you can see, there's no phone here, there's no distractions, WhatsApp's not open, and that is primarily me focusing on those check-ins and those clients who need that feedback. Because if there is distractions and there's WhatsApp going off, there's phones about where you can, again, browse social media and just be distracted from the task ahead, you're probably not being the most productive coach or the most productive businessman or woman that you can be. Breaking it down into work blocks, that's one of the most important things, okay? Typically, 3-hour sprints work superbly well for me. I make sure I've got my water, make sure I've got my coffee, and that's a 3-hour deep block there of work where I can be the most productive, effective, and get a solid amount of work. I'm not going to bore you with the check-ins though. I'm going to enjoy my latte, finish the final block. Of course, training shoulders today. So we're going to show you a little bit of that. The goal at the minute is to get wham. So the training intensity is hard. So we're going to finish this block, the big final block of the morning. The safety net, t-shirt, when you've got a vest on, you're too skinny to walk in the gym in a vest. Always play the safety net. And when you take the t-shirt off, you're bigger, you've got a pump on. That's what we're doing, getting proper greasy with busting shoulders. Just brush these yellow teeth. Oh, and top tip. Anyone living in a hot climate, always wear your SPF 50. You won't age. Don't be looking into the sun, especially on cheeks. When you get your Botox applied. I don't get it like, but you don't need it. No crowns or crow's feet in this face. And curls are hard work, you know. This is hard work. Work block done. Quick beauty check. Now it's time to show Padgy Andre Diu how to train shoulders. Big triple drop set. Let's go. Key teaching point to remember with the laterals, chest up, head up, good posture. The range of motion is this. tension is off. So you're coming in, tension drops off. Yeah? So keep straight. He looks flat, he's not trained.
Check again, it's the lighting.
You can take that shit.
There's no sweat, bro. What's going on here? No sweating, nothing. No pump.
No pump. There's no bottle to pump. Savage. In terms of productivity, one thing I want to talk around is training, and training when it works for you. For me, it's important to turn that work mode off and switch the athlete mode on, which is what I do. So I'll hit my big work block typically in the morning, which requires the most brain work. I'll come and train, that way there's nothing on my mind, I can focus on the training, and I'll leave the lighter tasks for later on in the day, because that way it doesn't require as much brain work. I can train, I can enjoy it, and I can just cruise through the work later on in the evening. So think, when you're training, is it taking too much out of you? Is it going to affect your workload? All these principles have got to be factored in. Little post-workout shake, Acai Pro, almond milk, Acai, peanut butter, protein. Had my absolute pants down. It's actually banging. First sip were terrible. We asked him for the recommendation what the best is. First initial thought, tragic. The more you drink it, the better it gets. Let's get to the real value now of the main purpose and the bulk of the video. So I talk around productivity, how to utilise and be efficient with your time. I come back to the purpose of having an immaculate routine, making sure that the majority of your workload is done within the morning. For me, that works perfectly, because as an online coach, you've got to set an expectation with your client. You've got to make sure they know when they're getting feedback. How my business operates, because we're 4 hours ahead in Dubai, they have all day to check in the previous day. The following morning, what happens is I'll give feedback. So by the time typically they've awoke, they've got their feedback, they know the plan for the following day. So my routine is based around my clients, because the expectation is set from the off when they are onboarded. Submit your check-in by this day, you'll have your feedback by this hour. I see so many coaches preaching that they love online coaching. But what are your core values? Because if as a coach, you're taking 2 to 3 days to reply to a feedback, it's bullshit. You don't love coaching. So make sure the client who's coming in understands your expectations, what is required for them to get the result. But as a coach, what are your expectations and what are your deliverables to make sure that client and that customer are getting what they need to progress. So the core values of a business are really what are going to dictate that routine, in my opinion. And for me, it's getting up at 6 o'clock, making sure that feedback is done to clients. Before then I can enjoy my day, I can get off, I can train. Come back now, we're enjoying some post-workout and a little bit of a relax. I think that's key. But before this, what we need to make sure is that all calls are done, so that the team, the staff within the business are up to date. If they've got any issues, they're getting the right feedback. But most importantly, what I do typically, as I said earlier, get your heavy workload done in the morning. So for me, that's check-ins, client messages, the expectation set, you achieve your deliverables, the clients are happy, you're happy. Go and enjoy your training if you can dictate your routine around that, and then I come back and the lighter tasks are then left to be done. So that, whether that be consultations, calls with staff, calls with clients, anything. That is an above and beyond, and I know that I have time within the evening to do that. So everybody's expectations are set, they are met, the business runs smoothly, you're happy, the client is happy. They're the key focus points. As I said, the core values. As a coach, make sure you aren't missing for your clients. Give up with the bullshit that you love it, and just stick to doing your job and make sure that you're over delivering for the client. Before the next stop, quick bite. So we're deep into the off season, got to get the food in, got about 4 meals left. But what we want to talk around now is the systems that you're using. Get a notepad and write this down. If you're getting a client inquiring and you send them your number and saying, give us a call later, it's not professional, it's not great. Get Calendly, you can capture their information, you've got their email, you've got the contact number, and you can also ask questions within Calendly to see why they're on the call. And that will allow you then to be more productive on the consultation call. Get photos before, set a skeleton plan, you're more likely to then convert the client because you've got a script, you know what their goals are, you can then write that script in the plan. You both leave the call happy, feeling that you've done enough as a coach, potential coach, and then the client leaves with potentially a plan, or they come on as a full client. Win-win, we're all happy. As well as that, make sure you're utilising a good app. So some good apps are True Coach, Kahunas. Typically they're the ones that I'd be using, or a lot of coaches do use Google Docs. So don't be coaching off WhatsApp. To me, it's not great for the consumer or the client, okay? So make sure you're using the right systems, the right processes. Typeform. When somebody's going to inquire, they want an easy process. Likewise with the consultation form, don't be sending them an outdated document that they have to worry about printing off or filling out with a pen or a paper or printing off. Scrap all that bullshit now. Typeform is the one. Get it downloaded, get a questionnaire on it. It's easy for the consumer, they're going to fill it out. You can then look at it and keep a track of it so you never lose it. Google Calendar. Get a Gmail account, link it to Google Calendar. Someone sends you a meeting invite, you accept it straight in your calendar. Send your reminders 30 minutes, 15 minutes and 10 minutes before if you set it up correct. And that way you're not missing calls. You can set up when you're doing your check-in so you know what you're doing at what time within the day. Everything is organised. You link that to Calendly. Guess what? Someone books a consultation call or inquires, it's straight in your calendar and you can select the availability when you're available. So if you select that around, in my case, evening times, I can't get any calls in the morning. Clients are getting the feedback, can't get any calls early afternoon, I'm training. I get them booked in the early evening. So that way it works around you. You're not sporadically doing 5 check-ins and having, oh shit, I've got 5 consultation calls. Make sure you're effective, make sure you have the right tools, the right processes. So get Calendly, Google Calendar, Typeform, True Coach, Kahunas or a Google document. And most importantly, payment systems. This is where I see so many businesses fall short. Sending your bank details to someone. How hard is it to go into your bank, set a new recipient up and pay that? Stripe or go cardless. Yes, they take a small fee, but they are so good. You can brand them, so you can put your branding on them. It's professional from the off. Remember, you're not just an online coach. You are a business. You want a pleasant experience for the consumer from start to finish, from the onboarding to the offboarding, and that's a big thing as well. Offboarding a client, making sure that you get feedback as a coach. Why are they leaving? That way you can look at it, you can reflect, you can constantly improve. Also, making sure within your day, you do have downtime. You all know, you've watched me. I am guilty for not having downtime. But one of the main reasons for the transition to Dubai is I'm 4 hours ahead of the UK. I get that 4 hours peace and quiet working on client check-ins. Then in the evening, when clients come alive typically, I can reply to them while I'm having a little bit of downtime and then my phone goes away at a set time. Because what I've realised as the years have gone on, if I'm constantly replying to clients or constantly on my phone browsing social media right up until when I go to bed, and the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is again, straight reply to clients or straight into check-ins. When are you mentally resetting and recharging? And then over time that accumulates stress and fatigue from a mental perspective, you're not going to be the best version of yourself. So what I like to do now, call me a workaholic, 1 hour to 2 hour downtime in the evening is enough for me to shut off and recharge, and you'll find your balance. Online coaching these days, so many coaches, you're not allowed time off as an online coach. Why aren't you? Of course you are. If you was employed by a business and they employed you and said you're never allowed downtime, would you take the job? Hell no, unless they're paying like $1 million, $2 million a year. Of course you wouldn't. You are a person, and with a world today where mental health is so proudly talked about, and as it should be, you need to prioritize it. I've learned the hard way over the last couple of years, not having downtime, it affects relationships, it affects your mental health. So make sure within the day you have an hour or two to yourself, just having some nice downtime, spending some time with loved ones, watching TV or whatever you enjoy. Because when you come back the next day, you're going to be a better person, you're going to be a better coach. So you may use those systems. You may not. If not, get them implemented. I hope you found it useful. Remember to comment if there is anything else you want to see, and as always, I hope you took a lot of value away from this. Thanks for watching. Remember to comment, like and subscribe.